What's going on YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson here once again. Thank you guys for coming back for another video here in Central North Carolina, where we're in the thick of things for summer. Man, how quickly and drastically things can change, right? When we've been documenting and talking about it this summer, which has been so much unlike last summer with our fescue lawn. As you guys know, for anybody that may be new, like, what are you talking about? In our front yard, we did plant grass last year in the fall time in September. We did triple threat from a local company, Southern Seeds, here in North Carolina. We did triple threat tall fescue blend. I debated back then, and this is when you're like, thank God I didn't make that mistake. I debated back then doing the 10%, 15% Kentucky bluegrass blend with triple threat. Thank God I didn't do that. And when I was thinking about it, yes, it looks gorgeous. Yes, the blend of fescue and Kentucky bluegrass looks awesome, but I would be out here watering even more. And as you guys can see behind me, that's exactly what I'm doing this morning. It's roughly 8:30. And I'm trying to get some water on the bank again. Our bank is the first place to stress out. And as I mentioned in the last video, many of you were like, man, I put this type seed down and it was stressing out. So I'm gonna put this seed down this fall and maybe this won't happen. And that's why I've said the things that I've said in the last couple of videos about how roots matter. It doesn't matter how great your seed is. If the soil underneath is rocky and full of crap and sticks and roots and, you know, and the roots, or roots meaning big tree roots, if the roots of your grass that you're planting in the fall can't get down deep enough to get some water down there, that's why they tell us don't water each and every day. Don't water every day, because then your roots, they don't want to go down. They want to stay on the surface where the water is, because you keep watering every day, the roots don't go down. We want to get an inch of water a week, whether it's by the Lord sending rain by our house or by irrigation or dragon sprinklers or whatever you may be. But we don't want to water every day to survive the heat. It sits on the surface. So we want to water a heavy watering for a heavy amount of time, let it soak into the ground, and the roots will just dive down to get that moisture. So anyways, wanted to throw that in there. I want to let you know I did do an application yesterday, and like an idiot, I did not film it. I didn't even think about it. I just got out, mixed it, and was like, crap, I should be filming this right now when I was in the middle of doing it. So let me tell you about what I recently applied to my lawn yesterday. We are doing some water in the background, so let's have a quick conversation here. So this is something I've never done. While I blow lots of money, this precious gold city water here, this is how I water my strip of grass here. It's right against the property line. So this is how I have to water this area. And so this one does kind of get watered the exact opposite way of what I just told you. It's hard to do a really deep watering on this strip of grass. So while I do this, I'll just talk to you guys at the same time about what I've learned this year. And one of the things that I've definitely learned, and I believe is true, is, you know, last year I talked about how we did azoxystrobin, we did our propiconazole, and we did it with our natural adjuvant, and I had no fungus issues whatsoever last year. And I used the Hydratane, as we talked about last video. I used Hydratane to help me, assist me when we go on vacation. It can help the water that we did get. If we don't get any rain, it helps us to retain that moisture. And so I had no problems with fungus. So I went into this year very confident in my fungicide treatments and regimen. I was very confident in azoxystrobin. It's like, okay, it's the first time I'd used that product in my lawn was last year, because I got it for Christmas, and my wife got it for me, and I was like, excellent, we're going to use this. And I mixed it with Propi and did fine. This year it's been the opposite. And so what I've learned this year is we do need to mix up our fungicides. That Cleary's 3336, someone had mentioned in I think last video, they said, Mr. Ferguson, I bought the Jonathan Green fungicide, and he was from Tennessee, and he said, I put that down and I've had no problems. It cleared it up, and I'm looking like it did when it was in spring. So you should try that. So I looked up the active ingredient, and the same active ingredient in the Jonathan Green fungicide is actually what's in Cleary's 3336. So it's the same thing there. So applying that would be the same as Cleary's. So we do need to mix up our fungicide treatments, regimens. I believe that's wise. I believe that's something I need to do. It's an investment. If you're going to have grass in North Carolina, fescue in the summer, if you are not willing to pay for water, if you're not willing to pay for fungicides, you need to consider warm season grass. Have it turn brown for 6 months and have it green for 6 months. That's the way North Carolina is established and set up, is that if you're not willing to put in the treatments, because you're going to get disease in your lawn, right? And so with the warm season grass, as Pete has talked about, because I was watching a video on warm season, his Alpha Elite grass, I was watching that recently. He was talking about how it's very low risk of disease for Bermuda. And we all know that Bermuda is the alpha grass. How's it going? Everybody thinks I'm a nutbag watering and talking to you guys, so give me a like for being a nutbag for you. But my hose, I don't want to tip it over because, well, let's see if I can. Oh, it's gonna fall. Oh, see it? Oh, come on, come on. Oh, there we go. Pull. Thank you, Lord. It's the small things, right? So I was watching a video from my brother in Wilmington about Alpha Elite and Pete's GCI seed, and he was talking about how it's low disease risk. Plus, we all know how Bermuda is. It is tough as nails. It is very hard to kill, but once you do it, you're not going back to fescue. So you really, really, really need to be sure that that's what you want to do, because trying to convert, well, I like the fescue better. Well, it's too late. Like, once you go Bermuda, you're not going to get that stuff out of your lawn. It's going to be a nightmare trying to then go back to fescue. So that's what I've learned. I've learned that even after, like I told you guys, 4 or 5 years of trying to perfect my lawn and have it, the best that I can be, I am still learning each and every year. One year, it's like, oh, that wasn't a problem. You get a little puffed up chest, you get a little confident, and then fungus hits you, and it's like, oh crap. And as you may still be able to see, it's still brown. This is the probably the non-hydratane side. Some of it is still brown. I think it's literally from lack of water. There may be, well, let me talk about what I sprayed yesterday. So I did another treatment yesterday. Mainly, I did 101 from GCI Turf. I did about 60 ounces. So it's 101. It's not a ton of nitrogen, but I wanted to do a lot of calcium, get our calcium back up, pump it in there, and plus it was available. I didn't want to do 60 ounces of 505. I don't want a lot of nitrogen, but I was watching Pete's video. That's what he was mixing. So I'm going to copy the guy that has a professional lawn care company, right? So I did about 60 so ounces of 101. It's got 8% calcium. Calcium's great to help us to strengthen the cell walls of our plants for summer, for this time. I did just over 4 ounces, which is like you can do the minimum with the natural adjuvant. I did put Pete's natural adjuvant in there, but I did CK, and I know that Foreplay has basically C extract in it, and we put that down not too long ago, but I did the actual next product of CK. So we put that in there. And also I did the rest of the azoxystrobin that I have, which was about 4 ounces. And if I break that down, it's like 0.5 per thousand. So the way that it breaks down in my mixture. So it was right around 0.5 per thousand azoxystrobin. So it's not the curative rate. It's all that I had in the bottle, and I knew I was low. So I put that in there. That's all I did. I just got my bottle in the mail of Cleary's 3336 because I ran out of that, and I was like, let me pour some of this in there, and I'd already mixed everything up. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, it's fine. I'll just use the azoxystrobin. So those 3 things went in. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I think that's pretty much it. We got some nitrogen, we got our fungicide, we got our natural adjuvant, and we got our CK. So I mixed those 4 things in and sprayed that on this lawn yesterday. I can see a little bit of a darker color to the lawn, so it did give us a little color change, but the nitrogen is to promote growth, to grow out. I want it to grow out. I don't want to be out here cutting grass in 90-degree heat, but I do want it to grow out this fungus and get back to green and healthy. And it is I don't know if I put enough nitrogen down. We'll find out. 101 is, it's great. It's mainly a calcium treatment with a little bit of nitrogen. So we'll see what that does. I'm just kind of slowly taking it. Again, the hard part is to know, have I done the right type of fungicide treatment to fix the problem or not? Do I just need to be patient, or am I sitting here watching my grass destroy itself thinking that I fixed it and I didn't? That's the challenge that maybe many of you, you're not alone. I feel that as well. And so that's what I'm feeling. Am I doing the right thing, or am I not doing the right thing? Just standing here watching it, where it's like, Mr. Ferguson, what are you doing? It should be green by now. It's like, should it? Or do I need to be more patient and just let the stuff that I've applied work? So those are some of the things I've learned. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I can't afford afford, as much as it hurts my heart and hurts me to watch my lawn go brown and watch it go dormant, we can't afford, you know, multiple months of really high water bills. And our lawn, our water bill has been, if I didn't tell you, jacked up again to like $91 base rate. It is insane. Like, it just keeps getting worse and worse every year. For the past 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, our water rates have changed by went up by $10 the past 3 years, which is just insane. And it's the way that they're getting our water to us. It's the county or whatever. It's just it's insanity. Let me quickly show you some other parts of the lawn before we close out this video. And now this little strip of grass is happy because it's ready to fight the Carolina summer today. So the last thing we'll touch on this video, I know some people last video said they like the longer ones, some people prefer the shorter ones, some of y'all just don't care, and that's totally fine. There's a couple more things I just wanted to hit. As I water my bank here, you can see it is looking pretty decent. And again, I think that application yesterday, the 101 with the natural adjuvant, really helped to at least give it some color and to promote some growth to get some of this fungus to grow out. But number one, remember that, as I was just saying, we planted all this front yard last September. It is the youngest grass in my lawn. Some of that is true. Some of the same circumstances is true for some of you guys. You know, all of this back here is established. It's 2 years old. When I go up and do my drone shots, I can 100% tell a difference in the back section that is 2 years old grass versus this triple threat mix of GCI that is brand new from September. There is a noticeable difference in an established lawn. It's darker. It just, I mean, even right here, you can tell. I mean, if you're just looking at the stripes, yeah, but just look, I mean, it just looks more defined. I don't know what it is. It's better. It's more established. It's had way more time to develop deeper roots. Because if we make it through summer, through using all this money, using all this water to get it through the summer, it gets all that time for next summer, 12 months, 11 months and some change to drive roots deeper for next year to help it give it a better chance to survive. So keep that in mind. Don't lose hope. But it's all about, do you have the money? You know, do you have the money? Do you have the budget to be able to do what I'm doing? I'm trying to do that in the front yard this year. As I was telling Mr. Kevin, my priority is here in the front yard. As much as, you know, I love my backyard, I'm going to water it, but I've already been able to tell this year that I've needed less water back there than I do here. The bank is stressing out. It's newer grass. You know, some of this is established that's been here. Most of it was here last year on this left side, and there's some areas here where I don't need to water. The only parts that are really stressing out is some of the newer parts over here and on the bank. So some of these, you know, that's what my focus is on, to keep it alive so that next year it's 12 months in, it's got deeper roots and it can survive better. So that's another reason. So if you've got the budget, you got the money, get the water out on it, keep it alive. As Mr. Kevin's doing, you can keep it dormant and just keep it alive, help it not to die off, but not make it just green. So it just depends on where you are money wise, but also what we talked about, getting it established, getting its roots, surviving this summer so it can have all fall, all of winter, all of next spring to get ready for next summer, and then it will be even better. But something else that I'm seeing that the other day as I walked up here, and even as I'm watering today, is if you're letting it go, you have to keep in mind you're going to have invaders, because as it goes dormant, it trickles away. You know, it protects itself, your fescue that is. Things like this right here, you see what I'm talking about? Bermuda grass. Different types of warm season grass are going to begin to filter in. I don't know if you can pick it out of this picture with the sun the way it is, but I can see you see the ones that have grown the most, that's warm season grass. So as your fescue grass gets thirsty, it's protecting itself, it's not getting the water it needs, other grasses are going to make its way into your lawn if you're not careful. And then what are you going to do? Like infiltrate? Is that something that bothers you? Is it something that you want to protect against? Bermuda can overtake our lawn if we're not careful. So keeping the fescue healthy and driven and alive and watered helps to keep it thick as we can, right? To keep out some of that Bermuda and keep out some of that warm season grass. But ultimately, you know, Bermuda's going to Bermuda, right? It's going to try to take over its alpha, and that's what we were just talking about previously. So just wanted to bring these thoughts to you, what I've learned fungicide wise, why I'm out here spending this money trying to keep these, you know, get this grass established and make it through its first summer. The products that I'm putting down, which I always put in the link, that helps support this channel, thank you to those that use it. If you don't want to use those links, absolutely fine. Use what you want, use the products that you want, and get them for the price that you want, the cheapest, if you find it cheaper than what Mr. Ferguson's offering it. It's not about me, it's about your lawn. I want you guys to be successful, and I just show you what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, explain it to you, my thought process. And so I hope you're doing well out there. Thank you for tuning in this Friday. I'm going to enjoy some US Open golf today, and at Los Angeles Country Club is where they're playing, so it should be an interesting one. I saw like a par 3 is like 270. That's insane, a 270 yard par 3. It's crazy. So anyways, I'm going to enjoy some US Open golf and be able to play some this evening. So God bless you guys. Hope you have a great Friday. We'll see you next time on another lawn care video here in Central North Carolina.